Okay, what is up, everybody? Welcome to your daily dose of awesome, your life 50 minutes of daily motivation, inspiration, and education so you can get your day started right. Well, it is good to be back after an incredible week of training that I had last week, and it's tied directly to, excuse me, what I'm going to cover today. So I'm going to talk about how to turn negative and discouraging prospecting interactions, whether that's on the invite, whether that's at a home meeting, whether it's over the phone, whatever it is, into fist pumping victories where you're going, that was awesome. And so how do you do that? How do you turn these negative experiences into something that can actually be useful, if not life altering for your business? So that's what I'm going to cover today, and it's based on training that a few of my team members did this past week. I was in Seattle with Kate McShay, with Tim Murway, with Carrie Hyam, with JT DeBolt, and a couple of our mentors, and I'll get into who they are and what they do. But truly life-altering training, a 3-day experience. And really the bottom line of what we were doing over there was on how to become better mentors for you guys, for people in our community, for people in our VIP program, for people in our fast track program. So, and some of the there's so much to share, and I won't be able to do it all here. However, I am going to share one breakthrough that I had, which can be powerful if you implement it in whatever prospecting efforts you're currently engaged in. Does that sound cool? All right, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Fernie Sabalas. I'm a lead generation online marketing expert specializing in helping home business owners, that's network marketers, affiliate marketers, direct sellers, multiply their incomes using the internet. I built my first 6-figure network marketing business within a couple of years of utilizing the strategies we teach here at Elite Marketing Pro. And over the past 10 years, I've been responsible for over $16 million in gross income into my home businesses, and have helped our clients produce hundreds of millions of dollars collectively in their businesses as well. So what the strategies we teach work, and I'll be getting a little bit into some of the, why, how to go about going into your network, using your network marketing business in conjunction with something like social media and the internet. So I'm going to definitely get into that. But before I do, I want to also encourage you, I'm going to check my phone here to make sure I am live, and also encourage you to subscribe to these broadcasts. If you are new, I highly recommend you click on the video, and a little menu should pop up where you can like us and follow us. Go to our fan page if it gives you that ability, so you can turn on notifications so you actually get notified, a little ping on your phone, where you can tune in live or tune in later. After this weekend, I realized that the best work that we do here at Elite Marketing Pro, some of the best work that's subtly life-changing, happens here at the Daily Dose of Awesome. And so you definitely want to be plugged in. So let me check to see if we are live here. We started about a minute late, which I apologize, guys, but all good. There we go. Okay, great. All right, so you guys hear me there? What's up, Karen, Sally, Michelle, Teresa, Terry, Marilyn? Tell me where you guys are coming from. What city, what state, what country? Let me know. I'm gonna be looking here over the phone at your comments. This is gonna be a very interactive experience here that we'll have. So let's hop right into it. So I want to share a little bit about what we did last week. So. We are engaged in building out, very sophisticated systems for our mentorship students here at Elite Marketing Pro at the VIP level, and at with our fast track members who we work with even more closely, and so the question that we had been asking ourselves is how do we become more effective mentors? How do we become better communicators? How do we make sure that what we teach sticks with our mentorship students? And so those are the questions we were asking, and so that was the purpose of bringing on some old mentors of Tim Irway and Matt Christo, who are my partners. Their names are Blair and Melissa Dunkley, and you can probably look them up, or you can probably just find Blair Dunkley online if you want to do a Google search. They are basically life skills coaches. And I don't say that lightly. They actually are certified in life skills. They actually went to college, and based on scientific studies and scientific research, they developed skill sets that are invaluable for anyone, regardless of what they do, but specifically for entrepreneurs in developing the life skills they're going to need in order to become successful. And so, what I love about what they do is that everything is backed by science and research, as opposed to just opinion or I think I've seen this work type of thing. And once we got into the actual 3-day training, which was very intense and very, very difficult at times, very challenging. However, what they do is literally transform lives by teaching their clients these life skills that have them become more effective at whatever they do. And so that was the purpose, was for us to have our team members they're having those one-on-one interactions with our clients become trained in these life skills, not only so that they can be more effective teachers, but also be able to transfer some of those skills onto our students as they're teaching. And so one of the concepts that they teach is called mind models. And so a mind model, is interesting because they don't like using the word mindset, because mindset is very nebulous. It can mean something different to different people. It's very general, and so they prefer kind of to be a little more have a little more precision in their language. And so what they say what they teach is actually mind models or mind modeling. And what's a mind model? And so mind models is simply language patterns. So they're the language patterns we use to talk to ourselves and to communicate with others. In fact, basically, how we communicate with ourselves and to others reveals a lot about how we think. And they basically have been modeling human thought their entire careers. And they actually went to school, went to college in Canada, using research that was both private and public, to kind of develop their methodology that they teach today. And so I don't have time to go through all the different mind models. I wish I could. It's only a 15-minute call. However, I'm going to share with you one of the mind models that I took away from that experience, which can dramatically shift the lives here that are watching and everybody at EMP to be more effective at what they do moving forward. And so that's what we're going to do today. If you guys are excited about what's coming up with Elite Marketing Pro, especially learning this concept of mind modeling, drop me a number 2. Give me a number 2. Let me know that you're ready to kind of take in this knowledge, because it will be impactful, hopefully, as it was for us. So, one thing. So I want to ask you guys a question. What do you think of when I say the word judgment? One of the mind models that we learned, let me rephrase that a little bit. One of the mind models we learned was the difference between judgment and evaluation. And so I want you guys to share with me right now what you think the difference between judgment and evaluation is. This is the mind model. This is, judgment is a way of thinking, and evaluation is a way of thinking. What do you think are the differences between the two? Tell me first, what do you think judgment is? What does judgment, what does that mean? What does it look like? How does it manifest itself in our language? Okay, so, Brandy Shaver says, a-holes. Alan says something negative. That's actually right, dead on, Alan. What else? What else is judgment comes from an emotional perspective? That's right. Judgment is making a snap decision about something, potentially. A conclusion versus an assessment. Karen, that's spot on. Judgment is opinion. Evaluation is educated stance on something. Very, you guys are really, really sharp. Maybe sharper than I am on this stuff. Judgment says the other guy is doing something wrong. He needs to fix it now. Judgment is negative connotation. You guys are on it. Okay, awesome. And so what is evaluation? You guys have given me a lot of judgment, a lot of definitions. Actually, most of your definitions are pretty spot on. What is evaluation? What does evaluation look like? And what would that look like if you replace judgment with evaluation in how you approach your speaking or your interactions with people, or your own self-talk. What is that? So judgment is based on one's opinion of something. So opinion keeps coming up, negativity keeps coming up, emotion keeps coming up as far as judgment. So Jeanette says constructive. So evaluation is constructive. That's dead on. What else? Evaluation comes from a data and information perspective. Interesting. Evaluation is objective information provided to help somebody improve. Evaluation is assessing something with an open mind seeking to learn. That's Terry. Susano's judgment gives you no space for growing. Evaluation gives you some space for growing. Man, you guys are awesome. You guys are really good at this stuff. If you're watching this live right now, don't just be watching me right now. Be watching the comments, because our community is on it, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. So let me get into what judgment is. So judgment is primarily emotional. So you guys were dead on when you said it was emotional. It also comes from a negative state. So there's, when you guys said negativity, that's exactly right. Judgment is also opinion based. So opinion based meaning it's internal, what my opinion is. So I form a judgment on that person. Somebody else might not agree, and that's just it, because it's coming from me internally in my opinion and my emotions, etc. It is opinion based. But the one thing you guys didn't say about judgment, which was critical to this lesson today, is that when you're in state of judgment, it keeps you stuck in a negative loop. So judgment does not allow you to become resourceful. When you're judging something or somebody, or even yourself, actually, the most important judgment we can make on a daily basis is how we talk to ourselves and how we judge ourselves. And it keeps us stuck in an emotional state, because a judgment is definitive. This is what it is. And if we're speaking to ourselves in a language of judgment, then we pretty much put ourselves in a stuck state, and it does not allow us to become resourceful and get out of it and become productive. So that's the most important part of judgment, is that it keeps us stuck in a way of thinking that may not be constructive. Sometimes, judgment serves us. If we see somebody do a horrible thing, a murder or something like that, we're going to pass judgment on them, and so maybe it's rightly so. But I'm talking about everyday things that we do in our lives, how we talk to ourselves when we pass judgment. Bottom line, especially in ourselves, it keeps us stuck in a negative state. Now, evaluation, as you guys so eloquently said, it's based on data. It's less emotional or non-emotional. Let me see. Evaluation, outcome-based, objectives, learning provided. That's exactly right. And basically, the bottom line is, when you're going through this evaluation process, you're engaging the mind in a way that it's very difficult to become emotional. And now you become open, like I said, open to data, open to information that can be verified, because it's external to you. It's information that's coming into you that others can observe. And so evaluation, you guys were spot on, and I highly recommend that everybody read the comments here. But let me talk about a process of evaluation. So let me go into not only what evaluation is, because you guys were spot on. It's it's external. You observe data. You observe. You make an assessment. That's spot on, and it's primarily not emotional. It's information based. So it's basically the opposite of judgment. So primarily not emotional. It's information based. It's a neutral state, or even a positive state. It's not opinion based, because the stuff you're using to make this evaluation or the information can be observed by other people, and it most importantly helps you become resourceful. So think of evaluation the exact opposite of judgment. And so, but most importantly, evaluation engages the mind, and the reason it engages the mind is because we start asking ourselves questions. The three questions that become critical as part of evaluation. So these are questions you can use in whatever you're doing, is to ask yourself about any particular situation: what worked, what didn't work, and what might we change or do differently. So let me say that again: what worked, what didn't work, and what might we change to do things differently. And so by going through this process, you're engaging the mind in questions that are constructive and productive. It's an assessment, and you naturally just your emotions come down. You become basically more focused, and are able to kind of be more objective in what you're doing. And so, what the hell does this have to do with prospecting, recruiting, network marketing? And you know, I did a long explanation about judgment versus evaluation, but it was important because now we're going to get into how do you actually use this tool, this mind model, to help you with your prospecting efforts. And you guys are engaged. If you guys are first of all finding this helpful, drop me a number 5 in the comment section, because you guys are highly engaged, which I love. And so, but I just want to make sure that this is helpful. If you guys have had any breakthroughs or any sense of clarity, drop me a number 5. I'm going to get into the actual real world example. So let's say when you're prospecting, when you're doing, whether you're cold prospecting somebody in public, you're holding a home meeting, and the home meeting happens, and then you know, so the home meeting happened, or you've got off the phone on that one-on-one call, or met somebody on a one-on-one call. After one of these efforts, one of these things you do in network marketing, what happens? Do you beat yourself up? You know, when you beat yourself up, when you're kind of like, oh, I wish I'd done this. Damn, I wish I'd done this. Oh man, I blew it. I suck at this. You know, what you're doing is you're beating yourself up, and you are in judgment of yourself. And that keeps you stuck. When you're in a negative emotional state, it keeps you stuck, and that becomes a wasted opportunity. So that opportunity to learn from that interaction, that mistake, if there were any mistakes, you know, keeps you stuck, because when you're in judgment, you're stuck on what you should have done, as opposed to what? What can you do in the future? What can you do to improve? When you evaluate, you give yourself the opportunity to improve, to assess. So let's go through an example right now, a specific example. Let's say you've just had a home meeting. So you've just had a home meeting, and I know we're Elite Marketing Pro and we're all internet stuff, but I want to make sure that everybody watching this, you know, can appreciate this. Let's say you have a home meeting and it just finished, it's completed. The prospects have gone home. You're sitting there, maybe next to your upline, or someone crossline from you, or someone downline from you. You're sitting there. What process can you go through to, you know? And let's say first of all, let's say that after that home meeting, you know, it didn't turn out as well as you would like. Maybe there were 5 people there, and the most you got out of that entire interaction was no signups, 1 customer, and that was it. So you go through a process. You go through a process, and so the first thing you ask yourself is, what worked? So what about this worked? Not only do you ask yourself, you ask the group, what worked? Well, what worked is I got a customer. What worked is that John did an excellent job presenting. You know, he definitely was highly engaging. And then so you kind of just go through that. And so it's a way of assessing, is also giving credit where credit is due if somebody did something good. And then you go into the next question. What didn't work? Well, you know, 2 prospects didn't show up. You know, we had 2 no-shows. What else didn't work? Well, it took 2 hours. And so, you know, what else didn't work? Well, being away from my kids didn't work. You know, that can be one of the interactions. Missing my kid's baseball game didn't work. And so, you know, you see that even though we're going through an evaluation and something that's information based, it doesn't mean it can't be emotional. No one's a robot. You can't, you know, be purely unemotional about something. But primarily the approach is information driven. Even though there's some underlying emotions, like you feel bad that you miss your kid's baseball game. So that's what didn't work. These things all didn't work. So what might we change? The third question, what might we change? Well, for network marketers, part of this change, or what you do differently, may be you need to utilize some more effective and efficient strategies for building your business. You know, because if you're saying that these are the things that didn't work, then what might we do? You know, there's usually, not always, but there might be there's usually a correlation between the changes that we intend to make and what didn't work. The stuck state that you get in, that we'll all get in, is if we start feeling sorry for ourselves. If we start saying like, "Freaking, those guys didn't show up. I'm so pissed. I'm gonna, tear into them tomorrow when I see them at work, whatever." It took us 2 hours, or you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're feeling bad because you missed your kid's baseball game, all that stuff, and all that stuff may happen. But in that moment, you don't want to be in that emotional state. And so what might we change does have some correlation, because now you have an opportunity to assess and make some changes. So what can you change? Well, for people building traditionally, like I did at one point in my career, and like many of you here at Elite Marketing Pro did, if you guys are watching right now, you're part of Elite Marketing Pro and made you made a change in your business to build your business online. Drop me a number 7 if you are currently working on building your business online. So what could change? Well, I could leverage an online tool to qualify my prospects before meeting with them. So I could qualify my prospects before they're invited to a meeting. I could leverage, social media to build my business, so I don't have to leave home and be away from my family, and I can be at the my kids' baseball game, so I can have both. So that's an assessment. Build my business using social media, so I'm not away from home, so I'm not away from my kids. Actually, but that doesn't even deal with the baseball game issue. I can. So another thing you can do is what might you do differently? I could use technology and automation so that you're even producing. You're being productive while you're at your kids' baseball game, while you're with your family at dinner. And so you can start setting up systems so that leads are coming in on autopilot, so that when you get home or when you have time later, you're able to contact those leads that have reached out and requested information about X, Y, and Z. And so this is how you go through the evaluation process. You look at what didn't work, and then what you can change in order to kind of alleviate some of the stuff that didn't work. And notice that the way I did it is not in an emotional state, even though some of these things can be emotional. And this is how you become resourceful. The reason why you go into an evaluation state, and the reason why you ask yourself these questions, is to A, engage the mind, and B, to put yourself in a resourceful state so that you can, next time you have another prospect interaction or another home meeting, or maybe you do away with them altogether, whatever you do, you're able to continue to improve and look at what you could have done better, and then in the future make the right choice. For many here at Elite Marketing Pro, the choice for them that works has been utilizing the internet to build their business. So if you'd like to learn more about what we do here at Elite Marketing Pro, then simply go to elitemarketingpro.com or click on the link in the description. If someone shared this with you, our members share these lives every single day. If someone shared this with you, click on the link that they put in their description, and come check us out. Learn what can possibly dramatically change your life. So that's today's lesson, guys. Hopefully this mind model of judgment versus evaluation was helpful to you guys. If you found this useful and educational, drop me a number 10. If you notice times in your life when you're in a state of judgment and you don't even realize it, drop me a number 10. Let me know that this was useful to you, because this is not just about business. Judgment and evaluation is happening all the time within our head. And so it's about your ability to become aware when that's happening and be able to shift in that moment to become more resourceful. And the rule of thumb is, very likely if you're in a negative emotional state, you're basically in that judgment state, and you're going to stay stuck for as long as you remain in that state. So that's it for today, guys. Take care. Have an awesome day. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully this is helpful. I am so excited about the stuff we worked on last week and to be sharing more. We're actually going to be having Blair and Melissa Dunkley to do training for our community here, because I just think that what they are doing can alter lives for the better in a massive way, unlike anything I've ever seen before. And I've done many different programs, and for me, I kind of described it like a Landmark on steroids. If you guys know what Landmark is, it kind of took Landmark for me to a whole new level. And so that's how powerful this stuff is. And it's all science based, which I love. So because I'm a nerd. So take care, everybody. Have an awesome day.